there's too many movies now. You know, it's getting to the point where I can't keep up. Like, oh, have you seen Roma? Have you seen Bad Times at El Royale? Have you seen this? I can't keep up with so many movies. I just watch whatever I can watch. Like if it's on in theaters and it just so happens that I'm free, I'll give it a shot and watch it. Most movies now, it's either Netflix, you know, Hulu, and like, it's just too much. Like it's getting to the point where I have to kind of like be very like picky. And if it just so happens that it's in my schedule to watch a brand new movie, I'll check it out. But I mostly just like watch older movies that I own that I haven't got a chance to check out. But I did get to see a few in 2018. So my top 5, don't judge it as a critic. Like, don't think I'm gonna be picking like the most acclaimed films of all time, almost the best movies of 2018 in respects to being like Academy Award winners. Not really. I'm just gonna pick the movies that I enjoyed. If a movie entertained me and it did its job, hey, it made it to the list. So with that said, number 5 is gonna be a movie that most people will probably put it in the worst movie of 2018. But guess what? This movie was fucking entertaining. As dumb as it was, I was never bored. And that movie is Venom. Yes, this movie is very cliche, it's very dated. It literally is a movie that could have come out during the time of Catwoman and Daredevil. It fits right in that era. With all of that said, I can't think of a movie in this long era of comic books that has entertained me so much, because most comic book movies now are part of this universe. It's either the DCEU or the MCU. And this is just a movie that's telling the story of Eddie Brock, who meets Venom. It's a romance between him and the symbiote. I loved every minute of it. It's funny, it was action-packed, the effects were pretty good. You know, some of the acting is pretty bad, especially with Eddie Brock's character played by Tom Hardy. Like, there's some scenes where he's just walking around going, yeah, you know, I'm Eddie Brock, I'm a reporter. You know, I see things that other people don't, you know, but you suck. Like, it's really weird. I don't know why he chose that. I guess he's a New Yorker who's just transplanted to San Francisco. But at the same time, like, he's acting like he has a symbiote already, even though he hasn't been fused with Venom yet. So it's so odd. And the relationship between him and Michelle Williams is really weird, because you can tell that they have no real chemistry. But even with all of this shit that I've just said, this movie was entertaining. Like, I was actually more excited to see this movie hit Blu-ray than any other movie in 2018. Actually, if you go on Amazon, it's actually their #1 bestseller. Critics can talk so much shit about this movie, but if the movie gave you good action, a lot of funny scenes, even intended or not, it's not a guilty pleasure. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. It's just a movie that gave you good entertainment. So number 5 was Venom, and I have no shame in saying it, even though it's not technically a good movie as it was intended to be, but hey. Number 4 is a movie that was given a limited release, but I got a chance to see it on the big screen, and that movie is Mandy with Nicolas Cage. I like this movie a lot. Nicolas Cage, you know, people say that he's gotten bad now. He's always been crazy and bad. He is a mixed bag. He likes to act, he likes to do crazy improvised shit. For every 3 good movies, you'll get 6, 7 crazy bonkers movies. But the director, Panos Cosmatos, who's the son of the director of Cobra, got Nicolas Cage and said, you know what? Let's use his craziness to our advantage. Let's make this revenge film mixed with fantasy and sci-fi and horror. Let's all put that into a blender and put the special little ingredient, the cherry on top, Nicolas Cage. You put that on top and you get Mandy. This really bonkers film about a man who's lost his wife and he's going on a revenge spree and killing every motherfucker around, but just add acid and crazy LSD in the mix with really good cinematography. Yes, the movie's a bit slow, like it takes a while for the story to settle, it takes a while for things to actually come to fruition. But once it does, my God, this movie was a treat. This movie knew how to use Nicolas Cage. I had a good time with this. If you like horror, Stephen King novels, you like revenge, you like Nicolas Cage, you're gonna get all of that and more in this movie. Number 3 is a movie that I can't believe this actually came out in 2018. It felt like this came out in 2016 or 2017. I feel like it's been so long, but no, it came out in February 2018, and that movie's Black Panther. I wasn't originally gonna see Black Panther in theaters. I wasn't gonna wait, but I ended up getting a chance of seeing it, and I was like, you know what? Even though I think the hype was a little bit too much, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Like, yes, it has similarities to other movies that I won't mention because it might kind of reveal some of the plot points. But the acting from everyone in this movie was spectacular. When you get to see Wakanda and you get to see the world that they're in, damn, this is really good stuff. The only complaint I give for Black Panther is the fact that the main character, he acts a little bit different than he does in the other Marvel movies. And I say that in the sense of the action. He has the Jean-Claude Van Damme effect. What I mean by that is, if you've seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, it's typical to see him in the third act get beaten up so badly, like it's his last, straw, and all of a sudden he finds the strength to do the last roundhouse kick and beat the shit out of the good guy. They have that in this movie, but a bit too much. It happens, I think 4 times. It's supposed to be the lowest point of the character in the script. It's usually towards the third act, where the character has lost everything. He's lost all hope, but then he finds the courage to climb back up again. It doesn't have to be in an action movie. It can be also in a drama film where main character says, oh shit, the bad guy won, he got away with murder, but you find the last clue. Same thing with Black Panther. The thing is that the lowest point of Black Panther happens 30 minutes into the movie, happens an hour into the movie, and it happens an hour and 30 minutes into the movie. It happens way too much. To the point that I'm like, this is too much. Okay, I get it. You're trying to make him vulnerable, but they made him a weak motherfucker. But even with all those complaints, I enjoyed this movie. It had good cinematography, good soundtrack. I would say Killmonger is the second best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I really like this character. I actually kind of saw where he was coming from as a villain. I don't agree with him, but I'm like, this is how you write a villain. You don't fully agree with what he's saying, but I get where you're coming from. It's not your typical oh yes, I must control the world, I'm this evil mastermind. No, there's layers to him. You understand his emotions and the stuff that he's gone through. Number 2 is actually the 6th movie in this franchise. I can't believe that this guy's still, he's 50 something years old and he's still releasing these movies, and that is Mission Impossible Fallout. I really like this movie. I've seen all the Mission Impossible movies. Part 1 is okay, it's not the best spy movie. Part 2 is a guilty pleasure of mine. I like the movie. It's pretty dumb, but I like it. 3 was really good. Part 4 was even better. 5 was alright. And then this one comes around and I'm like, holy shit, this to me is probably one of the best action movies since Mad Max Fury Road. I loved every minute of it. Typically, in a bad action movie, every action set piece is there just to entertain. It doesn't go along with the plot, it feels forced. Every action sequence in Mission Impossible Fallout is relevant to the storyline. There's a lot of twists and turns in this movie. I don't want to ruin anything of it. Henry Cavill did a great job. Good thing he didn't shave the mustache because Justice League was awful. He left it for this movie. He plays a really good character in this movie. I don't want to ruin it. And Tom Cruise, say what you will about him in Scientology, yeah, he's fucking crazy, but he can make a good action movie. Guy's 56, 55, I don't know how old he is, but he broke his leg during a jump. To me, he's like the American Jackie Chan. He will do any stunt, and it's really dangerous, and he kept shooting that sequence. He kept running even though he broke his foot. There's a really cool Halo jump that he did, I think, 10 times just to get it right. While there's a thunderstorm going on, he also learned how to fly a helicopter for this movie to do these really crazy stunts that I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you, Tom Cruise? You're fucking crazy. And yes, the plot is simple. Stop a detonator. It's just to grab a detonator that's gonna blow up something. That's pretty much the premise. But everything that happens to get to that point, it's insane. I was like, this is the best one in the franchise. This is actually the highest grossing Mission Impossible film. It's actually one of the highest grossing films of 2018. And rightfully so, because I was never bored. I was entertained in every single sequence. There's very little to no CGI. That helicopter sequence, I have not seen anything like that ever. For that reason alone, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's up there with Mad Max, those kind of movies that that you're getting into a really good movie that you're gonna be talking for many years to come. But what can beat Mission Impossible Fallout as the best movie? Well, number 1 is a movie that originally, again, just like Black Panther, I wasn't gonna see. I usually leave Marvel movies towards later because there's just too many of them to catch up. But I said, you know what? This is the event movie that everyone's talking about. Let me go see it. And that's Avengers Infinity War. I really, really, really like this movie. I thought this was going to be just a run-of-the-mill. It was going to be like Avengers Age of Ultron. Hell no. This movie was great. Every character gets the appropriate amount of screen time. Every character has an arc. The villain, Thanos, my God. He makes bald men look great, It makes me want to go back to my bald days, man. When I saw that purple bald head, I was like, damn, Now that's sexy. See, that's why we should, admire, bald people, because we get things done. When you watch this movie, without ruining anything for those who still haven't seen it, everything that's said in this movie gets done. Things just go ways you don't expect. It's not going to say it's the best one in the cinematic universe, but it's up there as one of the best ones. I really had a good time watching this, and I can't wait for Endgame. Maybe Endgame will be even better. We don't know. These are the top 5 movies of 2018. Yes, I didn't mention movies like Stars Born or Roma or whatever other movie that came out. I didn't get a chance to see those. Whenever I hear these critically acclaimed movies, I usually say, fuck, I'll just watch those later. Because half the time, they end up being something like Birdman that everyone loves and I just don't get. But that's just me. I'm Veskai. I'm just a guy here on YouTube, so don't take my word for it. But do leave me your opinion on the comment section down below. And make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button so you can get all the notifications on the wonderful videos from dropping loads. And I'll be seeing you next time.